on Spotify, or I'll fucking kill you.
It's time for the Dudes and the Dudes podcast.
Featuring SG,
What's going on? Never mind.
Dick Sassy, DK Murphy,
I'm already 5 beers in.
and your host, Max. Oh, all right. Hey, how's it going, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Booze and Dudes podcast. I am Chuck Bucks, your host. And today we have a special guest on the show, and his name is John Bennardo. He has written books, he has made documentaries, and he worked on the one and only show that you might remember as a kid, and that was America's Funniest Home Videos. So we were going to start with an intro song, but we didn't want to get kicked off of the YouTube. So, this is a good interview.
Can we
guys.
sing it?
We can sing it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Go ahead.
I don't know how it starts.
America, and this is you. That's for you, John. So like I said, we're gonna go
red, white, and blue.
we're gonna talk about that. But we went into that's
America.
All the funny things you do.
all the funny things you do. America, and this is you.
That second one's also for John.
Wow, that was strong.
It's
But,
an earworm in our heads right now.
I think we should stop this podcast shit and just do an album.
Fucking boy band, bro. Duh.
What are we thinking?
Fucking A, man.
now.
You guys.
Yeah, Chuck will be the manager.
Use
Fucking
guys.
Yeah.
We're the three, dude, up front.
Men to boys.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Men to boys.
That doesn't sound good. It sounds like a pedo group.
Men to boys. That's the most terrible name ever.
Inspired by John Bernardo.
Men to boys.
Men to boys.
But what do we talk about, Jens? We were talking about everything from our porn names to
We went over that real quick. Yeah.
real quick, and then we went over his book that he has out, and cancel culture. Cancel culture, of course.
We all agreed we don't like it, right?
No, nobody does, dude, except for
I'm sure a lot of people do.
except for those people.
No, because even
Karens.
the people canceling, when they get canceled, they're like, "What's this for?"
Yeah,
So
but they liked it before, though.
Yeah, even the cancelers don't like it when they get it.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right.
Well, hold on. Can't we agree that maybe there is sometimes when someone is just a straight up asshole, they deserve to be canceled?
No, okay. Here's my argument with that. If they're an asshole, and time will tell whether. But to physically say I'm going to cancel you, we're not seeing if they're such a big asshole if their groups won't stand the test of time. Because look at Rush Limbaugh. A lot of people think he's a scumbag or a douchebag for things he said, but look at how long he lasted. Right? He died doing radio. So what I'm trying to get at is, let's say Ellen was a big piece of shit. How long would Ellen have lasted if people hadn't came out and tried to cancel her and rat her out and make her look bad?
Ellen was a
She's
big
still
piece
doing
of
good.
shit.
She's still
Pop
doing
dog.
good.
Okay, so she was. But
Was she? Really?
I don't know. Enough
I mean,
stories.
she looks like it.
She seems cool, dude.
Enough stories
She
come out
dances and
where
shit.
people say she is, But
She's
You
gay.
watch Ellen?
At my parents' house, yeah. My mom watches it. She's funny.
his screen cuts out. And it just stays-
Slowly we just cut him out of frame.
You guys don't like lesbians? You guys are horrible.
I guess.
Ooh, not the ones that look like dudes.
Not the
Those are
fucking,
like the cool
not the
ones.
ones that look like John Goodman and
Which
Ellen.
lesbians do you like? Lesbians don't sleep with guys. Bisexual women sleep with men. Lesbians don't like men at all.
I'll tell you this: most.
Yeah, but there's
This
the
was-
pretty one.
this was
There's the
gonna get
guy
us
and the
canceled.
girl.
Yeah, but the pretty one's still like she's still
Lipstick
not gonna fuck you
lesbian.
either.
Lipstick
she's still not
lesbian.
gonna fuck you either.
Bro, it's in their DNA. There's gay men who still sleep with women, and they go, "Well,
It's because they want to have a family and like be established and shit and have like a household and their name to live on
So
as kids.
there's got to be some part of them that's not gay, right? Where they got to look at a hot chick. This is my argument. I don't know if I get canceled and the gays and the lesbians come for me.
Yeah.
They rip me apart like that movie, Perfume.
Joe, you look,
nice.
Joe, you look like you play the saxophone, dude.
Poorly.
Like really bad.
You play it drunk all the time.
Yeah,
Give
you're
me a quarter, bitch.
2 a.m. in the morning. 2 a.m. in the morning. My neighbors, hey, stop doing that shit. Fuck you. My wife left me.
you look like a reject blues
I had to
brother.
wash my bed. Skip 20 days.
Oh, and
What was
also
that Muppet? The Muppet Muppet that had the beard, the one that had the glasses.
Hey man, man, that was great. I remember that guy.
That's it. But yeah, guys, this is a good interview, and I also want to plug our YouTube page. Go to fuckingyoutube.com, right? You see it below.
YouTube.
Fucking YouTube.
Fuckingyoutube.com. We own the domain. Fuckingyoutube.com goes right to the Booze and Dudes page. So subscribe to us because all this production stuff is not cheap. It's not cheap.
Log on.
So
It's not
log
free.
on. It's not free. But anything else, gents, before we start this interview?
I just can't wait to find out all the cool stuff about Wheel of Fortune. I can't wait to ask him all the questions
he's a
I
winner.
have about Wheel of Fortune.
Hey, is there any update on if the little bitch is gonna take the boxing challenge or not?
Whoa.
Oh, that's a different show. But
right.
anyways, John, let's go into the interview. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So he is a humorist with a new fiction novel about cancel culture. He's a general smartass, according to his bio. And he actually made a documentary about a $2 bill. And not to mention, he's a Wheel of Fortune champion. That's what everyone talks about. That's what popped out at me. You give it up for John Bennardo, everybody.
That's
Pretty awesome.
Give it up for him, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks. Yeah, I've been on a bunch of podcasts and nobody wants to talk about any of my creative pursuits. All they want to talk about is Wheel of Fortune. So you guys want to start there? I'm game.
If you want, we'll fuck Wheel of Fortune, right?
How hot is Vanna?
Yeah.
I was going to talk about if you thought the wheel
Well,
was.
it was actually 20 years ago.
Oh my God.
20 years ago it was on. It's hard to believe, but still looked good back then, even though she was getting older. Looked good to me.
Yep.
Jeez.
And I got to stand within 3 inches of her because I won the show. And then at the end, when they roll the credits, they have to make you stand there and chat with Pat and Vanna. So I'm standing there chit-chatting with them, and Pat's over here and Vanna's over here. And I'm like, well, I'm a foot away from Vanna. It's as close as I'm ever going to get.
Nice.
That's it. So, John, you mentioned you were a screenwriter, and obviously you've done that documentary. So you did that book, and we read a little bit of the book, and it had to do with cancel culture. So does everyone obviously here, they know about cancel culture, but go ahead and talk a little bit about cancel culture today. Just, what comes to mind when you think of cancel culture?
Cancel culture's, what comes to mind is it's a big joke, and that's why it's worth satirizing. I don't have to tell you or your audience what's going on in this country. If you send out a tweet, if you mention the word Nazi, or if you took a picture of yourself 20 years ago that maybe you were dressed in a Halloween costume that doesn't fly today, you're canceled, you're done. And it's just funny to me. I mean, it's not that some people don't deserve some scrutiny. There are poor choices being made every day by people. The higher level of celebrity you are, the more you're going to get axed. But it's just kind of silly that we have this culture where everybody's so offended by anything. And no matter what you do, you're going to be offending somebody. Right. And you guys don't seem like the kind of guys that are going to get offended much. You seem like you would be the ones doing the offending. And I like that. You just have fun. You wing it.
Yeah, no.
Someone's going to get offended by what you say.
None of us
You
should
guys
ever run
probably have
for
said a few
office.
things that.
I will run for office.
Right. Okay.
I'll run for office just so they can
Again?
cancel.
Yeah, so
me.
off-
again, that's right.
Well, like for example, like you see
You
Ellen.
might want to be canceled.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh yeah, we don't care. Yeah.
Ellen DeGeneres was obviously a victim of cancel culture. Like I said, obviously people were saying that she was toxic on the set. Now, is that something give me an example of something that's justified and not justified in cancel culture? Is that something that's justified to you?
Well, not as bad as some of the others. Let's put it that way. You have Gina Carano, who got canceled off
Oh,
of
man, my
Mandalorian
lady.
because she made some
Right.
comment
Yeah. Does anybody
about
actually
how
know?
America's running like the Nazis. Okay, so that's not really appropriate, but
You
Well,
can
no,
say
did-
whatever you want on this show.
Didn't you say something
you
about?
know, take her off of a television show for that.
Didn't
Yeah,
she say
so-
something about the transgender community? Does anybody know what she actually said? I'm just curious.
Exactly. No one knew what she said, so I react to it. Like that's the joke.
I forgot
Like,
what you said,
if you
but I'm
don't
gonna
even
fire you
care-
for it.
yeah,
That's,
exactly.
I promise, Gina.
you know what you did wrong.
Gina, you may be hot and you may bring a lot to
Mm.
the table, but you gotta shut your mouth. That's what you gotta do. We talk about chauvinistic. That's Disney as a whole. You gotta keep your mouth shut, woman. But you know what I mean? Like they're supposed to be going to bat for people, the libs, right? But instead, here they are actually telling people, keep your mouth shut. You actually don't have freedom of speech. That's what's going on here. So it's pretty funny.
Yeah, and when people violate that, everybody likes to pile on. That's kind of where I come from, is that, this is offensive. I'm offended too. And they just join the club. And that's what I kind of satirize to a degree, is where this guy does this thing where he has an innocent typo in a tweet. and it turns it from something normal into something highly critical of the LGBTQ community and offensive, and everybody piles on. Even when the guy apologizes and explains what happened, nobody wants to hear
Yeah,
that
it's too
because
late.
the first mentality is attack, attack, attack.
Yeah.
And it goes from there. And then everything
Yeah.
he's ever done in his life gets brought back to life, and things he said 20 years ago are now offensive, and costumes he wore in college to a Halloween party are now offensive. And basically, by the end of the book, he's offended every race and ethnicity on the planet, and he hasn't done a thing wrong. That's the point of view of the book.
No,
I don't
that's
know how
it.
far
I
you
mean,
got when you read it, but yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing about the fag as opposed to flag, which I thought was
Right.
fun.
Okay. Yeah, you read that.
Yeah, I'm over there like, nah.
Well, me and Big Bucks here had a group. Well, we didn't go all the way through with it because we're from San Bernardino. Look, he's already embarrassed. Back in the day, we started this little wrestling group. It was called FAG. We didn't go through it because it was fighting against gangs. But we knew what was going to happen to us in San Bernardino if we came out with that group. It's like
I got one for you.
Yeah.
My buddy RJ, he had a T-shirt that said "Golden all year, gay."
oh, clever.
But RJ's not gay. I mean, RJ is gay. That's what
Yeah.
takes away from it.
Yeah, but nobody knew he was gay. I mean, like we knew.
Oh, his
Like
face
the
said it.
fans didn't know. The fans
His
didn't know he
face
sucked
said
dick.
it.
But that's the thing, John. Don't you think that like some celebrities that we
Right,
like
it's
we
funny.
like Gino Carano. Okay, we don't like Ellen. Ellen. So when Ellen got canceled or accused of, I was like on board. I was like, yeah, fuck her.
Wait, I didn't even know about this until like right now, really hearing it. So what? Ellen's toxic because what? She's the man in the relationship.
No, she like yells and beats people. I guess.
It's
No.
her show. She wants to make sure it looks good. So
It was her show. She was toxic to every guest that was on that wasn't high
Then
profile.
why do people keep
All the
coming back?
all the people working on the set were like cussed out or treated like shit.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Dude, I
Just say
bet they
something.
got paid
after a
so
while.
well
They wait
though.
11
say
years to
some
open
shit.
their mouth.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's all like, yeah, you were
like
cool
the-
when the money was coming in, but now all of a sudden that the show's off, you fucking
Yeah.
give a shit.
Exactly.
Fuck those
It's
people.
like
dude.
20 years worth of guests.
I think you hinted at something big there. A preconceived attitude that you may have towards somebody definitely factors in. So if you don't like somebody, then something that they say is going to be upsetting to you. When you guys sitting there, you all know each other. If one of you says something off color, you're going to laugh. But if
Yeah.
Ellen says something, if Ellen says the exact same thing, you guys might want to cancel her or be pissed at her because she's not in your group. So that plays into it as well. Who do you know and who do you like and what have
Yeah.
they done?
Well, now with social media, everybody has an opinion about everything. It seems like there's just like we're supposed to give a shit about everybody's feelings all the time.
I have a question.
Uh-oh.
Shut up. Okay, so is there possibly like a time limit to when cancel culture can start and begin? Because of course there was the Canadian Prime Minister, that picture of him where he did blackface in college.
Brown.
Now, whatever. Yeah. And of course now we found out
It
like
was
30
funny
years
either way.
later. Now, like, what if somebody did something stupid? Like, when is it okay to be like this, and when is it okay not to be like this? Is there a time limit?
I mean, I'm pretty sure you're still fucked.
My answer would be there is no time limit. And that's what makes part of the book funny to me, is because everything he's done, like something he did at 11 years old, comes up and it's offensive. And then costumes he wore at age 20 are offensive, and things he did in his mid 20s are offensive. So you can dig up anything. I mean, there's nobody here that's been a pristine angel all their life. I mean, I'm sure we could dig up, especially with this motley bunch I'm looking at right here. I mean, you guys tell me there's nothing we can't pull up in your background that would be upsetting to people.
I want to say there's rape charges, right?
Joe?
Hey, alleged.
We all just keep
Yeah, so
looking
I said
down the
charges. Charges. I didn't say it went through.
What are you looking at?
Yeah. That's why he has his glasses on.
Hey, Adam, you know what? That's crazy. There's even someone in this group who is accused of being like they're gonna blow up the. We won't say who in this group was a
Oh.
terrorist, but take a look at the beards. I'm just gonna say
Yeah, I got
those Muslim
my
beards don't
my
lie.
education got canceled because of Columbine.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, that's,
I love that you're so serious.
So-
I'm just going to try to stir the pot here.
That's right. So John, what inspired you to write a book like this?
I think just a little bit of intolerance toward how
Uh-oh.
Man, it was a
little
divide
of a
point.
backbone we have as a culture. I mean, everybody's so offended by everything. Part of it, and I mean, I'm a humorist. I look for things to make fun of, and this one just kind of came to me naturally. Like I watch what happens in the news, and I just think it's ridiculous. My reaction to somebody when they do something wrong is I just don't watch them. I have better
Exactly,
things
yeah.
to worry about than who's saying what. I mean, the guy on The Bachelor, the host of The Bachelor, self-canceled himself because of something he said. He canceled himself before the ABC did, but I don't give a shit because I don't watch the show.
Yeah.
So
He just
I don't.
Yeah, it didn't change anything in your life at all.
No, I'm not losing any sleep over that. And none of these people who've been canceled have I ever lost any sleep over. And if someone sends out a tweet that's offensive, if I'm following them and I'm really upset, guess what I'll do? Unfollow them.
there you go.
And that's the end of it.
Yeah, so simple.
But
Can
yeah,
you
so the answer to your
imagine?
question is it's go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead. You're the guest.
I'm just saying, I don't, the idea for the book just comes in my thought that this is a ridiculous practice and that people are too, too easily offended. I almost called the book Easily Offended. That was the working title. But that's just my way to say it. You know what? Here's my take on this, and I hope you all laugh as you read it. I'm gonna make it as funny as I can, and it's putting out my attitude. That's where I got the idea from. It's something I wanted to satirize.
Yeah.
I got another question. Do you know who Mark Bernardin is? That's not the question, but do you know who that is?
No, should I?
He's a TV
No,
writer and
you
comic book
shouldn't.
writer. Anyway, he when Gina Carrera, how do you pronounce
Corona.
it? Corona got canceled. He had a theory, and I want to give you this theory, and I want you to tell me what you think. So she says some very unkind things about the transgender community and is fired by Disney. Now, the theory is that even though all the liberals and all the softies went up on Twitter and had a big argument about this, technically the person that the company that fired her is run by old rich conservatives. So
Is
they're
it?
just still looking out for the bottom dollar. Now, what do you think about that theory?
They might have had a thought that they wanted to get rid of her for whatever reason and then use this as an excuse. I don't know if that's what you're getting at, but I don't get into the politics of it. I don't go left, right on these issues. I mean, I don't think it matters whether you're on either side of the fence. I think everybody gets pissed off over things that they want to get pissed off over, if they like people or don't like people. If there's a hidden agenda, I mean, it's a great point. There might be a hidden agenda, but I don't look at it that way. I just look at it as, again, don't worry about it. It doesn't affect
Yeah,
you.
that's how it
In
should
the
be.
case
But
of in the case of Gina, whatever her name is, Carino, Caraft, yeah, maybe there was a hidden agenda. Maybe someone pounced on the opportunity. Maybe someone fed her an opinion, and she ended up tweeting it out there and getting in trouble. And somebody in the behind the scenes was like, "Yes, we did it. We got her
that was the
we got
last
her off the
straw.
show."
Yeah.
I don't know though. It's hard to say.
I would throw all three of you guys down a flight of stairs for her.
That's it.
I
Hey,
would volunteer for it.
let me ask you something too, John. So
Let's
obviously
sell it.
we see this happen left and right, and we in that case of Gina, we kind of cringed. It's like, damn, what did she do so wrong? What is the redeemable qualities? Is there like a time frame when somebody could be redeemed of such things like that, or saying something stupid or doing blackface 10 years ago? Or is
Back when it was still cool.
It just depends. I guess maybe in my opinion, it just depends on what was said at the time.
Yeah, I didn't realize we were going to get so deep, but I think I have an answer. Louis C.K. is back doing comedy. Remember, Louis C.K. was grabbing, he's pulling a Trump on some women and he worked with and saying some things. And,
Oh, he was doing something worse than that. That dude was.
right. And okay, and he was
Hey, he asked.
wiped out. And now, from what I
Yeah.
read, he's back doing comedy. He's got people paying to go see him. I mean, he's not like in the limelight again, but I don't know. I think the key is you disappear for a while and you creep back up slowly and you see the
Like
level
creeps,
of acceptance.
Mhm.
Yeah. You just, and slowly you find your way back. And I mean, look, these people have to make a living somehow. So,
That's the next
Louis
meme I'm
CK
gonna
can
make.
go,
Remember,
Louis
he can
C.K.
go bag
better.
groceries.
remember
He can-
Ted Danson when Ted Danson did blackface, and he paired
Her
Yeah.
name
He
is
came-
Whoopi.
yeah, he came back from that like almost immediately.
Yeah, he was
They were
playing with it.
married, dude.
And Jimmy
It was
Kimmel,
horrible. Yeah, he did it too.
Jimmy Kimmel did Carl Malone for years, and then
Yeah.
he self-canceled. Well, temporarily
Fallon,
took himself off
bunch
the air
people.
during COVID. Yeah. But
I
again,
mean,
I mean, they're allowed to act like white people. If they want to mock somebody or do an impression. But as soon as you do an impression on someone of color, then all of a sudden it becomes offensive. I don't really know where the line is there. Why can't somebody do an impression of a white guy and not do an impression of a black person. I don't really
You follow
get
Saturday
it.
Night Live at all?
Nobody.
I don't watch it regularly. I'll watch
Nobody,
clips on
yeah.
Because
YouTube and
there was
whatnot.
an old skit with Eddie Murphy where he actually went out to the world in whiteface.
Yeah, he goes.
And if you watch his old
free and
Gumby
everything,
bits,
Yeah.
yeah,
his Gumby bits were extremely racist toward
Yeah.
whites. And then he
Yep.
came back like a year ago and did Saturday Night Live again and did the same shtick where he was, making fun of whites and nobody got upset. And I remember watching it going, how is this flying?
It's
That's
kind of
because he's
it's
done it.
kind of like cucky, you know, in a way where white people are like, yeah, it's okay. You can make fun of me. I don't mind. Make fun of me and my whole race, my whole culture. And black people are just like, yeah, but if you make fun of me, that's it. That's it.
yeah.
It's
That's
like,
a line and
yeah,
shit.
it's like, let's calm down with that bullshit. You know,
I agree. And if I don't know how, if you got this far in my book, I had to be real careful the way I handled blacks because at some point the main character upsets black people. But the only reason he does, he actually never does. And
Yeah.
the black community, the line I use in the book is they felt like they were being discriminated against for not being discriminated against.
Yeah.
So he
because
never
left
does
them
anything
out.
that upsets black. And
Yeah.
so they start feeling like, well, we haven't been on the brunt end of this yet. So they make up stuff. They take something and twist it completely. And that's why black people end up getting offended. And it was a little dangerous when I wrote it because I hope nobody takes this the wrong way. But my opinion was that sometimes blacks do that where it's almost reverse discrimination.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get into it too much because
And
I
I
don't want to
read
get
time with
canceled
this
coming
as
off of this show. But
You're being nice, John. I follow you. I mean, that's a thing. You writing this book probably in mind I had to mind my P's and Q's because what if I get a bad Amazon that's saying, hey, listen, this guy's super racist in his book.
well, my attitude is anybody who thinks my book is offensive is making my point for me. Because if you're
Yeah.
offended by this, then you are what I'm satirizing.
yeah.
And so far, I've had no complaints on that front at all.
Good.
The reviews are mostly good on Amazon, and there's 1 or 2 stars or 3 stars, and nobody's written anything. They just leave it 2 stars and they duck away. So if they don't
Yeah.
like it, they're not explaining why. They're just punching in 2 stars and going somewhere
Probably because
else.
the
But
word use, they can't like outword you. So they don't dare leave a comment. They don't want to look stupid. So they're going to be
Yeah.
like, oh, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Fuck you. And they
Where they
leave.
put the comment where it looks like a Twitter feed.
Yeah.
You, the letter U, can't, and like,
But I've always
Hashtag,
said
not a good
humor
book.
is subjective, and not everybody's going to get the humor. If you don't have the same style of humor as I do, or you don't like that, then you won't like the book, and that's fine. I get it. The book might not be for everybody, but for those who like silly, absurd, satirical humor, smart satirical humor, even though it's played off as silly and absurd, that's what I write. And I kind of had to get over the hump of stop worrying about what the audience thinks and just write what makes you laugh. And this book makes me laugh. So
yeah, that's what I was
I
saying.
run
Like,
with it.
did you see it as like a way of venting? And was there like parts that you wanted to put in the book that you just didn't? You're like, nah, it's kind of pushing it.
Not really. And you know what? I don't know how far you guys got, but there's a lot of some of the stories of this guy as a kid are true
Yeah.
stories about me.
Yeah, I
Like
remember
if
what
the-
chapter 4 or something.
The
like that.
staple in the electric socket. I
Yeah.
actually did that in 7th
That's
grade.
horrible, dude. Like, I can't believe. Like, I remember reading that. I'm just like, this kid.
Oh, I mean, the story. I don't know how I did it either, but I'm sitting like this. Those of you that are watching the video, I got my cheeks on my hand, and this hand, I'm just sitting at my desk. I've got a pile of staples, and there's an outlet right in front of me because it's a science lab. And I don't know. I wasn't thinking. I was bored. I took the staple and stuck it right in there, and just stuck it all the way in, and the whole thing sparked up, and my thumb was sizzling, and it was humiliating. I guess at the time, I was just like, "Oh wow, look at that." Call the nurse. Mom had to come get me, and she's like, "What did you do?" I'm like, "Well, I stuck a staple in an electric socket." So, putting that in the book to make the guy look like an idiot, I'm like, "Well, that was an easy one to write because I just pulled from my own experiences." So,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's answering your question, but the fun of writing it was, reliving some stuff, and your writers pull from everywhere. I'm pulling the grandmother in the book is based on my actual grandmother. We actually found odd things in salads that she made, and so I put that in the book. She actually had a wound on her thumb once, and she would pick at it all the time. She'd pick at it and
Never let it heal.
And my dad finally said to her, you got to stop doing that. You're going to be back in the hospital every time. So he cut the thumb off a rubber glove, and she would
Just put it
wear
over,
it all the time around the house. And then it showed up in a salad.
Jeez.
It's
Hey,
never gonna heal if you don't stop.
let me ask you a question, John.
That's pretty
So,
funny.
if you were to, obviously, the main character in this is Mo Riverlake. If you were to make this into a movie,
That's your
who would
porn
you
name, right?
cast? Yeah, who would you cast as Mo?
No, wait, before I answer that question, your porn name is your middle name and the street you grew up on.
Oh,
Just so you know.
Ah,
That's-
fuck.
So if you guys want to share your porn names, mine would be Moro DeVoe, which sounds pretty much like a
Joseph
porn name.
Magnolia.
I remember mine. I remember
Perfect.
being the street you grew up on and the car you had. And mine was Malibu Marshall.
That's a
Mine
pretty
would
good
be-
one.
mine
Yeah,
would be
I had to dye my hair blonde
Elliot.
though.
Elliot. I grew up in Elliot, so it'd be Earl Elliot.
That's the worst porn name ever.
I'm not gonna watch that porn. It's Earl
Yeah.
Elliot in there.
Yeah. Old guy porn.
I know, yeah, it sounds like
Still
a-
have your real
Older,
haircut.
older for youngers.
Soft course.
Yeah. He's all, this girl's 18. I'm double her age. That's how old I am.
Earl
That's not-
Elliot. It's
that's
only cuck porn.
not at all that old.
No, that's definitely cuck porn. Earl Elliott stars in
It's
just cuck
just me in
porn.
the corner, that my bottom
No,
jaw.
it's you
watching
walking
someone else have
walking
sex.
in on your wife after you got done doing the yard or some shit. You're all tired. You're like, well, I'm just gonna take a shower.
It's like Earl. What
This is why I wanted to come on this podcast,
Yeah,
see,
this is
because
exactly
I can't digress on other podcasts. I couldn't do that. So I would have to just answer the question with a smile. But here I can go off and
Oh,
start
yeah,
talking
man.
about your
Oh, yeah.
porn
Oh yeah, I
names.
got a question.
Uh-oh,
He's
another
gonna, he's
one.
gonna answer
Yeah,
the.
team-
What was the other question? I
Timo's got
forgot
it.
the other question.
So
but go ahead.
yeah, Mo is your main character in the
that's
in
right.
the book. Who would you cast to play Mo?
Oh shit.
I've never given it a whole lot of thought, and I don't know. I almost would think this is the kind of situation, kind of like when Christopher Reeve got the part to play Superman, where they didn't want to hire a known actor. They wanted the audience to identify with somebody brand new. And I almost would think that I would just
agree.
start casting and find some goofy person who becomes him and is him, instead of saying, oh, that's not that Bill Murray would be good for it, but oh, that's Bill Murray playing Mo Riverlake, or that's Bill Hader playing Mo Riverlake. I
Yeah.
think it would just, find the right guy and cast him. So I don't know. It's a good question. I don't think I have an answer for you.
Get Hayden Christensen post Star Wars.
I don't know who that is.
In fact, I'm thinking of doing, there's an audio book. I want to do an audiobook version, and it's written in the first person, as you know. So it can't be a narrator reading it. It has to be someone who essentially takes the voice of
That's what I was
Mo.
gonna say. Amar, you gonna be able to read it, or you gonna try to get?
I can't. No, I wouldn't be able to do it, but I'd have to cast for it and find the right guy. And I think, maybe listen to 100 different people, and I'll know the right person. But
Yeah.
again, I have no idea who to cast, and I'd have to hear voices before I knew. I would know when I heard it.
Yeah.
We'll get there. I'm not there yet.
Oh, I know who should do the
So,
narration.
and
Buffalo Bill.
what Earl? What's his name?
Fucking
Earl.
colors are
Ernest
getting
Earl.
fucking offended.
Put the roach in the basket.
Actually, it would come off racist then. Buffalo Bill will fuck everything up.
Oh, wait, we're sure great.
Can I get you in this brand new car? No, you can't. Get away from me. He can't do anything but be Buffalo Bill.
Yeah.
That
All right.
is-
So I got a question.
Oh wait.
Now this is all about
Good to see you contributing.
Yeah, I try.
I just love him raising his hand.
That's why I'm on the desk.
Hey, come on.
To cover the good.
Microphone.
So has anything ever offended you? Like, have you ever sort of done something and you were genuinely offended?
besides Carrot Top.
Yeah. Besides,
That's a great. Oh, yeah, some movies. Yeah. I don't think I'm the kind of person that gets offended. That's a great question, and I never really thought about that one either. But I don't think I can't. Nothing jumps out at me. I mean, I'm Italian. I've got friends that have made fun of Italians, but I make fun of them. In fact, one of my best friends from college is a Jewish guy, and we're great friends. But our thing, which I guess is in the book as well, but our thing is to always tease each other based on our nationality. I mean, I always make Jew jokes at his expense, and he always makes Italian jokes at my expense.
Yeah,
I don't mean any of it. He doesn't mean
fun.
any of it. Sometimes, right? You guys know what I'm talking about. Sometimes I insult myself. I beat him to the punch. Sometimes he beats me to the punch and says something offensive about Jewish people that before I get there, he's doing it to himself, and we laugh.
Yeah.
It's no big deal. In the
That's
book,
not supposed to
his three best friends do that. So I don't know that anybody's ever said anything to me where I'm like I have that much pride that you're offending me. Like, I'm not so Italian that if you call me movie on or something, I'm gonna be like, God damn you.
You're all like,
I say the answer.
Leave the book.
The answer is no.
Yeah, I'm all. As soon as I heard you say you're an Italian guy and you grew up, I'm like, yeah, he had cousins. Like, he cried once and when he grew up. That was it.
Do you own?
I don't think so.
Do you own a copy of The Godfather?
Oh yeah, I've got it on DVD special edition.
He's on DVD, VHS, fucking band, everything.
John has it signed.
Yeah, I'm like, for the other Italians
signed
listening,
copy.
the other Italians are waiting for that answer. They're like, he better fucking say yes.
I'm not like your prototypical New York Italian. I don't talk like an Italian,
That's
Yeah,
too
you're
bad.
right.
I love it. I love pretending
Well,
to
you're a
talk
teacher,
like that.
you know how to write.
Actually, can you talk like that for the rest of the interview?
I'll try. You know why? If you want me to do it, I'll do it. I just gotta put the side of my mouth over here and keep only this half of my mouth open,
Hey,
and then maybe I
Benny.
can get the voice out. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, forget
And
about
have
it.
like it's like half a heart attack at all times. Yeah.
Yeah, pleasure stroke.
It's like the whole right side of my body is limp. Hey, hey,
Yeah. The dice play.
pull my Sylvester Stallone impersonation out.
Yeah, you look like Stallone.
Hey,
after.
wasn't he canceled too? That's another one canceled.
For
Stallone.
what, dude? He's
What did he
old as
cancel?
fuck.
Well, he should be now. I don't know if you guys are
Did he punch
Trumpers
somebody?
or not, but he just gave a whole bunch of money to Mar-a-Lago, which is
He did?
which upset a lot of
Okay.
people. Yeah, he donated 200 grand to become a member at Trump's Palm Beach estate here called Mar-a-Lago.
There goes
See,
my Rocky
if you have
collection.
money
News
like
and-
that,
Bless them.
if you have money like
That's
that,
awesome. What
man.
the fuck? Yeah.
So, John, tell us a little bit about your documentary you made about a $2 bill. Who makes a documentary about a $2 bill?
This guy.
Okay, it wasn't just one $2 bill. It was all $2 bills for one thing. But I have, and I'm not going to pull them out, but I have in my desk drawer a collection of them since childhood. I don't know if you guys ever got a $2 bill when you were younger and you stash it in a drawer because you think it's valuable. And I did the same thing, and I ended up with about a dozen of them. And I had done a couple of short documentaries and was looking for another project. I like to start big projects like books and, and movies, things that take a while and you can be proud of when you're done. And I said, I got to do something with these $2 bills. I said, I can't go out and spend them. I won't have them anymore. I could film myself spending them, get a reaction. I had to do a little mini documentary on them. It's just the idea hit me. I thought it'd be a stupid little 20-minute thing where I gave a little bit of history and spent some at 7-Eleven with a camera on. And I started researching it, and there's a whole lot of material. Did a Kickstarter and raised a lot of money because people found out people love these things and people cherish them. And anyway, long story short, it just evolved into this incredible, fascinating bill that people have so many misconceptions about. And there's some touching stories in the film. A woman lost her husband in 9/11, and they positively identified him by the $2 bill they found in his wallet, which gave the wife closure. So people like cry when they see that in the movie. And then there's funny stuff and superstitions. And I ended up with so much material I could barely fit it into 100 minutes. And I'm gonna tell you, the thing just took off. And I'm trying to build my personal brand, like as a humor writer, but I'm more known for $2 bills and all this surplus content I put. I have a YouTube channel. This will make you laugh. I have a YouTube channel exclusively on the $2 bill, and it's got 21,000 subscribers, and I've got over 10 million views because I put content up once or twice a month, and people watch it, and it's educational and
What's the
sometimes
name of
it's
the
quirky. And the $2 bill documentary.
Look it up, everybody.
TWO. If you search just $2 bill, half my videos will show up. And I usually on camera host those, or I narrate them. And there's all these amazing topics, different years and different superstitions. And, we threw some on the street and saw who picked it up and how people reacted. And good luck. I mean, it's just a zillion.
Any
The
homeless.
Yeah,
movie is
I was
on
gonna say,
YouTube.
our neighborhood, you would have got some fights. It would have been great.
The back of the $2 bill always reminded me of a food stamp.
Really? Okay.
Well, it's in the movie that it's so attractive. They made it so pretty that people thought it was a collector's item. That's one of the, without getting too serious here. People thought it was a novelty when it came out because it looked so beautiful. The back design was terrific. So people thought it was a collector's item because it came out for the bicentennial, and they said, I'm going to save this. It'll be worth something someday. And then you never see it in circulation. And because you don't see it in circulation, you think it's rare. It's not rare. It's just that you don't see them because nobody puts them in circulation. So it's kind of a self-perpetuating cycle where people think they're rare because they don't see them, and because they think it's rare, they don't spend them, and because they don't spend them, you don't see them, and then people think they're rare. So that's the lure of the $2 bill. But I get them all the time out of the bank, and I spend them, and people get great reactions. People remember me. They say, "Oh, you're the $2 bill guy," or
I got two on
tip
that.
with them.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's the long story.
Two on it.
Yeah, we're gonna give him a tip, $2 bill. That
It's kind of like in the grand scheme of things, the $2 bill was pretty fucking useless.
Yeah.
what are you talking about? It's better than the $1 bill twice.
Yeah, I tell you what, if you carry a bunch, you have to spend like $9 on something, 5 and 2 twos, or something you buy for 19.99. Buy something for 19.99, right? And the tax will be 21.80 or something. You just give a 20 and a 2, and you're all set. It's easy.
Yeah.
You walk out of Walmart like a fucking king.
John, what
reminds me
other films have you worked on, or documentaries? Is those the only things that, I mean, $2 bills obviously in
Well,
the
I made
book?
no, I didn't really work on too many. I did 2 shorts. Just from I have my own video production company here in Florida. That's how I pay the bills. I go out and I do
Oh, you're in
corporate
Florida.
videos for
Nice.
clients and whatnot. So what I did was, when I had an idea, I have all the gear and I have all the editing, shooting know-how. I just went out and shot 2 little shorts. One of them was about Cy Sperling. Remember the guy, the hair club for men, who said, "I'm not just a hair club president, I'm also a client." I got through a PR firm. I got hired to do a little mini documentary on him. Then I just did this $2 bill on my own, raised the money and did it. But I'll tell you where I used to work, which you guys might find interesting. When I lived in California, I worked for America's Funniest Home Videos back in the Bob Saget days.
Oh, fuck yeah. You get to
My
hang out
job
with
was
that guy?
I didn't hang out with him, but I had a few experiences with him that are interesting. But I worked in the screening room. So my job literally, I mean, I would
Oh, you
show
get to
up
watch everything.
and get 3 boxes of VHS tapes, pop one in, view it, score it, and move it on. And if it had a good enough score, it went to the producer. So, and we had 4 cut-ups, me and 3 other people in there, had a great time watching videos. Sometimes it would get boring because it's a lot of crap. Then you find that gem. And then, of course, we had our, hopefully nobody from the show is watching, but we had our own little second VHS there. And if we were
Record that shit. Hell yeah.
got something really raunchy, we'd like quickly make a dub.
Yeah.
What's the
Take
best
our own
one
copy
that
and
didn't make it to
show
TV, John? What was the best video that didn't make it to TV?
Okay, well, you want dirty or not dirty?
Both.
Give us both.
Both.
Because the dirty ones were funny, A, because they were funny, but B, because people actually sent it in. Like, you would be laughing at why somebody would stop and mail this to a company, knowing there's no chance of it getting on TV.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you about what we call the Canadian butt smoker, and I'll tell you that because we gave a copy to Bob. And again, I hope nobody's listening.
Yeah, I want to say he talked about it on one of the specials or something.
So Bob Saget would come in once in a while and he would poke his head back in the screening room and say, "Hey, you guys got anything, funny?" And we were told never to give him anything because they told Bob to stay out of there.
Yeah.
But he knew that stuff was coming in. He was always asking us to slip him something. So the funniest video he had ever seen, which he talks about on talk shows, was the monkey that stuck his finger in his butt and smelled it and then fell off the tree. I don't know if you've ever seen that video. So he loves that video, but I replaced it with another one. There was a guy from Canada, and what he did was big, heavy set guy. And he, so I'm going to paint the picture here for you. So he bends over, and on his ass, someone had painted 2 eyes and a nose and lips. So his big giant ass was a face, and he put a lit cigarette in between the crack of his ass.
Oh, no.
And he had a tube that he was blowing through it. So he bent over, and all you see is an ass. They put a sombrero on it, it looked like a hat. And they put a sheet just below his crack, so it looked like he had a dress on. So it's this big face with a sombrero and a thing and a cigarette in his mouth, and he's blowing smoke through a tube, so it looks like he's puffing on the cigarette. Okay, so imagine putting a tape in, and the first thing you see is a face painted ass smoking a cigarette, and we're all cracking up. But what happens is, and the visual won't be there for the people listening, but you can see what I'm doing here. This is the crack of his, I got my 2 fingers of the crack of his butt and the cigarette sticking through it. And slowly it starts losing its grip and falling down. Gravity is taking the tip of the cigarette toward the ground, and it reaches a point where it gets right to his, his hole and gets sucked into it, and all of a sudden he leaps up screaming because it's burning his
taint.
Sphincter.
So he gets up, and all of a sudden he's like, You see his big belly hanging over thing, and he's screaming, and it cuts off.
Yeah, that he's still sending
And it
it.
was the West.
That is
So
good.
after a while, when we knew the Bob Saget days of the show were running out, and we were probably not all coming back because the show went on a hiatus for a while before they brought back John Fugel sang and Daisy Fuentes. I saw Bob at a rap party, and I said, Bob, I got a present for you. And I handed it to him, and I don't even think he knew what it was. I think we had told him about it, and he was so grateful. He was so grateful. I made that guy's year.
I hope that there was like a beef between Bob Saget and Dave Coulier, because there was America's Funniest Home Videos and then America's Funniest People, and they're on right after each other. Same fucking show. The exact
Same company.
Why
Same
would they have
company
two
They
shows?
just found a way to because they made
You
so
look
much
like a
money
Karen
on.
saying that. Why would they do this? Why?
Yeah, I'm offended by that.
Because people like funny.
I would have had a show that said that would have been America's X-rated, and just all the rejects that you got from there would have been on HBO. I mean, that would have been a perfect show, right?
Yeah.
They had a tape. They actually, the company was Vindabona Productions, and they put out a tape of all the X-rated clips. I think you had to buy it like through the mail or something. I don't remember. It was back
That's
before you
crazy.
could watch it on the internet. But he sold an X-rated home video version. I don't know how well it did. I never got my copy, but I had seen all the videos anyway because they came
Yeah.
through our office.
Sounds like back in the Jerry Springer days, back when you used to sell those.
I'm gonna get a
fucking
hold of
VHSs and
that.
shit.
I have to now.
That sounds awesome. Yeah.
Someone sent in, I'll give you one other quick anecdote. Someone sent in a video. They were sitting in a restaurant on Hollywood Boulevard, and the window they were sitting at could see down the street. You could see the sidewalk with all the stars on it, but they were mostly looking at a parking lot. So who pulls in to the parking lot and gets out of the car? Bob Saget. And this is, the person doesn't know they're going to send this to home videos eventually, but they start filming, and a celebrity, Bob Saget, gets out of the car and he puts his keys in his pocket, or valet, whatever. And he actually, it was valet, so he didn't put the keys in his pocket, but he walks down the street, and the valet guy, you see the camera cuts, and the valet guy comes out and he's chasing him down the street, and he flags him down and brings him back. And Bob's like, what, like, what I forget? And what do you think he left in his car? I won't tell you. What do you think he left in his car? I'll give you guys, you got three of you there. Take a guess what he left in his car.
Weed.
They had to call him back to get
His
make a
wallet.
game out. You guys have no idea, right? His son.
Oh shit!
Good old Bob.
Wow, Bob, you're
So-
fucked.
He's on. Damn, almost got away.
So we get this video, and
So, shit.
He was
so
accidentally.
he just like he's strolling down the street, like like no care in the world. And then the valet chases him down, and the camera cuts, and he's got his kid. He's holding him like, oh, everything's okay. I'm like, oh my god, he left his kid in the car.
Full House. You forgot one of the Olsen twins.
Yeah.
There's two of them. Remember?
Now,
Good. Fuck him.
Oh.
Whoa.
and Bob, if you're listening to this show, you should be thankful that none of us ever turned it into like Inside Edition or anything like that. Could you imagine America's
Hard
favorite
copy.
dad?
Yeah, hard copy back in the day.
Because he was on Full House, right? So
Yeah, he
America's
would've been
favorite dad
canceled
leaves
right there.
child in a hot car.
Oh, dude, Bob Saget's a dirty comic, though. Have you
know.
seen his stand-up? He's a
Oh, yeah.
dirty comic.
Oh, he's awesome.
Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah, it made me appreciate.
He used to
it.
do it. He used to be raunchy at the rap parties, or the
Yeah.
preseason party. We'd have a catered beach thing to celebrate the start of a new season, and there'd be people with families and kids there. And I remember distinctly there was, he walks up to one of the tables where there's food, and there's like a plastic lobster there, and he takes it and he goes right to his crotch. It's like, it's eating my crotch. And I'm like, everybody's looking at him going, you've got my kid standing right next to you. And he's just going, ah.
He's like, I'm on coke. I
This
can't
was like
help
a-
myself."
John, give me some coke.
The crab was
Gotta
doing
be
it live.
on. He's got to be on all the time. But he was a nice guy. I mean, the times I talked to him, he was a real nice guy. So I don't mean to like tell horrible stories about him, but they're
Those all
the
sound
funny
amazing.
ones.
They're all
Those
great
are
stories.
fun. Those
Yeah,
are good
fuck that.
times. Who doesn't forget their kid in a car? Who's with me?
Happens all the time.
I forgot my kid at home.
See, there you go.
It was Madison.
That was intentional, right? That's intentional.
Yeah, it was my stepdaughter, though.
Yeah, so he didn't care too much.
I still get shit from it from this day.
Oh,
It's
wow.
like, you forgot about Madison when she was 5. I'm like, yeah, but come on.
She was 5.
She was like 5.
Yo, the TV was on. She was fine.
She straight up went like 4 or 5 houses down to get help.
Wow.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure you shouldn't be saying the rest of this. story?
It was pretty twisted. No, it wasn't that
This
bad.
could be used for evidence here.
Yeah,
Divorce.
that's so horrible. You just gave your wife the divorce out, like right there.
Yep. Now it's public information.
So John, I don't mean to go dark, but in your bio,
Yes, you do.
you did mention that you had cancer. And
Yeah.
at what point in your life did you know that you had cancer? And tell us a little bit about that.
All right, yeah. Well, I won't bring the show down too much, but yeah, I had cancer when I was 16
Oh no, we're
years
gonna
old.
laugh
That's something-
otherwise.
Yeah, I'll find a way to. Well, if the beautiful thing about it is, I'll fast forward to how I deal with it. I dealt with it by making jokes all the time. I wasn't one of those
Good.
people who felt sorry for myself. And I tell people this day, anybody who's suffering with something, you know, you got to find a way to find the humor in it, and don't give me that woe is me attitude, because you'll never get through it if you're, you know, sad and feeling sorry for yourself. You got
I'm glad you said that, John, because my dad was diagnosed with tongue cancer about 4 years ago, and I said, I can try to make light of it and like joke with him. I'm all, well, no tongue, that's fine. I'm sure your wife would be okay that you're not talking. I had to bust his balls because, yeah, you're right. If you make it a sad thing, they're like, man, he already has in his mind, I'm sure, like, damn, I have cancer. I have to get surgery.
But what if he was good at like going down on her?
Yeah, he's
Then
fucking-
she'd be sad.
Well,
She's like, God
She'd be
damn
like,
it.
oi, tongue cancer. The only cancer I
She's
was
all-
afraid
so
you'd
the
get.
only reason why I'm still
he
with
did
him.
marry a Cambodian.
Oh, wrong accent.
Wrong accent.
So you bring in a substitute, right? You get halfway down and then you switch.
You got to go to your alter ego, the cuck.
Yeah.
Earl the cuck.
Earl Elliott the cook.
Earl Elliott the cuck.
Did you tell your dad he's gonna have to be like Anthony Hopkins with the chalkboard?
No, I busted his balls. I mean, I would tell him, hey, listen, I would say, hey, I would just make jokes nonstop, and he appreciated it. I made light of the situation. He's cancer free now, so I mean, it only took me
Great.
2 years to do that. So yeah, but not to take away from you, John. So go ahead and tell us about it.
No, it's all right. I mean, does he have I mean, he can speak. He's got his full use of his tongue. I've never heard of tongue cancer before.
Yeah.
It could be made up to make Chuck feel sorry for him.
Yeah, he had talked to his dad like 13 years, and his dad's like, "Oh, I'm dying of cancer." He did a Royal Tenenbaums.
What kind of cancer?
It's like, I got
tongue.
the cancer. Yeah, the tongue cancer. This is the
He was
worst.
the only one Chuck couldn't look up.
I'll tell you what, it came up the other day because my brother was in Vegas and he asked to borrow money from me, and I said, no, dude, I ain't got money for you, right? So he hit up his friend and ended up borrowing like $500.
Damn.
And then my mom was here the other day and she said, hey, Mike, did Mike, he told me that he gave your dad $500 for surgery for cancer. Did you give him $500? I'm all, that was a made up story. Mike needed it because he borrowed $500 from Nick.
That's horrible.
Gave him a bag of lollipops. No, but my cancer was in the leg, in the knee, and I had a bone replacement. And in fact, the irony is, so I think I'm totally cancer free. I had chemotherapy. This is 35 years ago, but
Oh,
the
shit.
piece that I have in there was only designed to last so
Uh-oh.
long, and I've had to have two pretty major surgeries since to replace this artificial prosthesis that I have in my left leg. And one of the surgeries was 2 months ago. So I am literally just now starting to walk again without my crutches. I had 6 weeks laid up. I mean, the piece wore out. And so even though I don't have cancer anymore, the physical ramifications of what I went through crop up every 15 years or so, and I have to go back and have another surgery to have this piece replaced.
Damn.
So I'm basically coming off that right now. I don't know if you can even see in the video, there's my crutches right there. I haven't
Oh,
done
yeah.
case. I get up and my legs, my leg stiffens up or something. I have them. I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty much there. But the point is it's still with me. I don't walk perfectly because
Yeah.
of it, but I have my leg and I'm cancer free, and there's nothing to complain about at all.
Yeah, 4Ks and triathlons are out, but I mean, fuck it. You already raised your money that way.
Could always Willy Wonka it and just like, do the roll.
When my dad
I
had
tell you,
COVID,
walking
we
is
made
something.
COVID jokes all the
Oh.
time.
What happened?
When my dad had
But I was making jokes.
We're talking about
Oh,
cancer.
God, I'm sorry. I keep
COVID.
interrupting.
Cancer's legit. COVID's like whatever.
Yeah, you made up.
I was saying my dad was in 2 fucking car accidents back
You
to
said
back,
COVID first.
and then
The
he caught
invisible
COVID
enemy.
in the hospital.
But that's an invisible enemy. His enemy was visible.
Yeah.
This one, eh?
Jesus.
Yeah. He saw
Not
the
gonna
car
touch
coming
that.
both times.
Denied.
God, this guy's trying to bring in car accidents and cancer, like they were saying.
Sorry.
So there's my cancer story. You got that one. You got the home videos. You got the $2 bills. You got the
That's
book.
it.
Have we
But-
done enough
but
on
the-
Wheel of Fortune or no?
Right, the grand finale, Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, what was the
You
word?
are-
What did you win? What was the word that won it all?
Well, I won 3 or 4 puzzles, so it
Oh, shit.
added up. I won about $12,000. Close to 12,850 is the number, 12,850. Then I lost a bonus game, which would have been 25,000 more, and I'm still pissed about that because I should have had it, but I didn't get it.
It was
so-
naggers.
People,
It was naggers.
people that bother you.
Naggers.
It was your porn name. What was the porn? That was the answer to the question. It was Eric or whatever your name.
More names never going away, by the way.
Yeah, Richard's poor name.
That's awesome.
It's a respectable name. All right. Earl.
Earl, yeah, Earl.
I'm only gonna do tow truck porn.
See, you need a lift. I got
I
you.
see you got lost in the junkyard. Earl.
Oh,
I
Earl,
think you
take,
guys have a follow-up show you can do on this, right? This is a whole nother hour of conversation you can have with or without me here on
Oh, yeah.
porn names and that sort of thing.
Oh no, we got to bring you back if we're gonna do porn names.
That's yeah.
Oh yeah,
that's
we're doing
the
porn
show.
names. You're on there.
Yeah.
we've had
Well,
porn
I don't know
stars
where
on
you,
this
I
show.
heard middle name and street you grew up on. You heard something different, right? You heard the middle name and what was it? High
Like
school
a
something?
car. Yeah, street
the
that you
car,
grew
right,
up
the
on,
car.
and then one of your
Your
cars.
first car.
Yeah, so, no, just L car,
It
and I had a
depends.
Malibu at the time. So
Okay.
Jeez.
That's probably better than the street you grew up on, because if you grew up on a numbered street, your middle name could be Earl 162nd Street.
Brock
That doesn't really
13th,
sound
bro.
right.
Yeah.
My name's Brock 13.
Unless I'm like a male hooker, and that's like the only street I work on, right?
Oh,
Mm.
that's a hooker.
Or
then,
Earl
not a
Earl
133rd,
106.
yeah.
Hooker?
Yeah, a hooker.
person.
That's his favorite line. Right?
So how did you get through the casting of Wheel of Fortune? Did you have an in with somebody since you do screenwriting?
No, I just,
just really smart.
auditioned, and if I can, and I actually had to wait a couple of years to get an audition because every time
Damn.
I called, they were so backed up with contestants, they weren't looking for new ones.
Hmm.
So when I lived out in California for 12 years, eventually after 6 or 7, I tried again, and they said, "Yeah, we have an opening." And I went in there and I kicked ass. I mean, I knew I was going to get on.
That's
They
awesome.
give you a bunch of puzzles, like a test, and I nailed all those. And then they actually make you stand up. They go around. There's like 100 people in a room, an auditorium, and the producers are up on the stage at the front, and they call you up one by one, and you have to pretend to spin the wheel, and you have to be excited about it.
Oh my
And
That's awesome.
then they'll say, "Oh, $400," and then you have to call out a letter. So they want to see, your
You
enthusiasm. They
acting
want
and
to see your
stuff.
excitement, and they also want to make sure you do it right, because they tell you, don't say "give me a P" or "give me a D." You just have to say P or D. And so I remember doing it. I mean, they call my name, I stand up, I pretend to spin the wheel, I'm clapping, and then they go 300, and I go T. It's stupid. I mean, it feels
No, you're
stupid.
perfect.
But they want to make sure that you are energetic. And so I'm like, A, I aced the test. B, I have a personality. I could be modest enough to say that. And I think they saw that. I think they might have asked me a few questions. Everybody a few questions,
just
like, tell
personal
us about
questions.
yourself, the way you would do it on the show. And I got the call that I was on, and the rest is history. So
Bingo, bango. So anything you want to
I
plug?
don't think there was ever any doubt. And that's,
Nice.
no, I plugged the book. I'm telling you, I spent a long time writing screenplays because I got my master's degree as a screenwriter out in Los Angeles. But this book is the first foray back into what I was doing as a kid, which was writing prose and fiction. I did a lot of that, and I got away from it because I liked writing movies. So this is my first prose full book, and I think it's great. I mean, again, you guys read part of it. I think it's hysterical. I think it's well written. I read it and go, "Wow, did I actually write that?" That's
I haven't
pretty-
finished it, but
that's
so
pretty-
far it's funny. I
Yeah,
write,
so
I write
good. I
comedy too,
appreciate
so I think it's actually very funny so far.
Yeah, you see the wit. I mean, I think my strength is sarcastic, snappy, witty humor. And I
Yeah.
think I'm funnier in print than I am
Surprised you
like
never
even in
tried
the form,
stand up
like,
or nothing like that, man. Like a lot of that
No, I
dialogue
couldn't.
is pretty quick.
Nah, stand up is
yeah,
bull.
but I have to write it and I have to craft it. See, for me, I can be funny maybe on this show. I don't know if I have been or not, but if I have time to write something and craft it, I can make it real funny. And that's what the book is. It's work, it's molding and rewriting and revising and getting it right. Whereas I guess that's what stand-up is too, but probably too self-conscious to stand up in front of an audience and try to be funny, because the first time something I said didn't get a laugh, I'd probably be soiling myself. So that'd be the end of that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I plug the book. If you want, if your listeners want to laugh and laugh out loud and just find something enjoyable to do for a couple hours to read it, it's very funny. So go out and get the book.
That's it, guys. Grab the book. We'll put the link in the comment section. But John, pleasure. Thank you for being on the program, making time for you. I know it's like what is about 11 o'clock at night over in Florida.
Oh shit,
Florida man.
Yeah, we need Florida stories. That's why he's not so offended, because he's from Florida.
Yeah. Everyone's like, go to bed.
But I'm a New Yorker originally. I'm a New Yorker. That's my
so he walked past murders all day.
He walked past dead bodies and hookers blowing dudes all day.
It's too cold for me to stop
Hookers
and care
blowing
about this
gators,
bullshit.
gators eating
I
dudes.
said that's the next book he's gonna write.
Hookers and gators.
Hookers and gators.
My time in New York and Florida. That'd be the best. Dude.
Half the
No,
book.
I just started a new one this week. I just started a new one, and I'm not going to get into the whole story because it may change, but I'm finally on a path to another one now. So here we go with book number 2. I'll come back on when that one's done.
Oh, hell
If
yeah.
not
That'd be
before.
Awesome.
But no, you guys are great. This is the kind of podcast I like being on, where I can just be myself and let it loose and tell funny stories. I really appreciate you guys.
Yeah,
I appreciate the stories.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, we love the Bob Saget stories too. That's
And like I said, I hope
That's
he's
great.
I hope he does listen. But if he does, he's probably going to come looking for me. But
I was just thinking, like,
Bob, I'm
never-
in Florida. Come-
Just be at your door at a rainy night.
I was like, never mind
I heard
Bob
you were
Saget.
mentioning my name.
remember me.
Rich. No, it's gonna be like, never mind Bob Saget, Wheel of Fortune. He's giving away all of our secrets.
He based on the Olsen twins.
Dude, and if anybody listening can find that videotape where all the errors from America's Home, videos, whoever could find that link for me, hit us up. We would love to see that video.
I do.
I won't say. Talk to me off camera.
He's like, I got a copy for you.
He must have seen so many people get hit in the balls daily.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
yeah.
dude.
The blooper reels alone must have been great.
When he saw Jackass, he was like, these guys are trying. What the fuck? He's like, he saw this is 20
Yeah,
years old,
these
bro. Get
kids,
out of
yeah,
here.
this
This
is
shit.
Amateur hour.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It was a great job. I showed up and we watched stupid stuff all day. I
Oh,
got
yeah,
paid
dude.
I'd
as
love
to get
well
paid
to
for
sit in
that.
front of a
That's awesome.
TV.
That's the goal.
Yeah, back at the time, and that was late 90s. That was making like $750 a week, and we would show up at like 10 and leave at like 3. As long as you got through your quota, we'd be in and out of there, and it's pretty good pay. I mean, especially
yeah.
for someone in their early
And hot
20s,
box
it was a
with Bob
terrific job.
Saget in the back in the green room.
The green room, yeah.
Exactly.
The new
Dude, Bob Saget he was on something.
I just
right?
love that Bob Saget, for years when we were little kids, he was like so sweet and nice. And then you find he's like getting blowjobs in between.
See, and imagine what we're
Your
gonna find out about
your mom
Tom
was giving
Hanks.
blowjobs too. Like, just think about it. Like, never be surprised by grown-ups doing things like.
Yep.
Oh yeah, dude.
I said nothing about Bob Saget getting.
Oh, that was
That was Teen Wolf over here.
anytime
I
he
didn't
gets
say anything
excited,
like
he
that.
always-
It's you guys.
Yeah,
For
That
the
was
record,
middle-aged
I did
wolf.
not say that.
yeah, middle-aged wolf over here.
I said Joe Montana.
When are you gonna revert back to human? Goddamn it. Just kidding.
All right, John. We appreciate you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, man. Have a
Have a
good
good
one,
night,
dude.
No problem. See you guys again. Take care.
For sure.
Always, man. You too.